Alrighty, so we're gonna do a quick rant because people love hearing me rant or discuss or ostracize or criticize. So exactly, this is what we're going to do with the opinions of others. I should not give a shit about these, but I will do this for the sake of entertainment while not really giving a shit about these because they are gross misinterpretations, they are gross philosophies that should be rightfully thrown in the trash. What I'm talking about now is something you see in the title before you. People that ostracize games made for everyone, rated E for everyone, rated E for children, whatever the fuck, I don't know, but you know, when people get on the ratings of rated E for everyone or teen rated games and they say that, oh, it's not a good game, I prefer the more hardcore mature rating. Now, if you like mature rated games that have blood, guts, titties, and ass, more power to you. No one is taking those games away from you. But when you say, oh, I can't play as a child, or I don't like a fucking children rated game, what makes those games lesser than the games you're actually playing? And mature rated games also, they have their criticism by being mostly regulated to some walking sims. So what's the problem? What makes them lesser games to play? I love to play Mega Man X. That's a great game. It went from kids to adults, rated E for everyone, etc. What makes that any lesser of a game depending on the quality and how it's built? Why would a child protagonist bother you as the main character? You know, a main character can come from anywhere. You could be a fucking amoeba in a video game. You could be a goddamn alien life form in a video game, you know? It's all types of opportunity to introduce different types of protagonists from all walks of life, whether humanoid or not, into a video game. It's all about if we enjoy that experience and how the mechanics work, and if they have anything that presents itself to you in a very good fashion. So what's the problem with playing a game that's rated E for everyone? What's the problem with playing a game that has a child protagonist if the story is good, if the narrative fits, if it's an RPG that has those elements? What devalues that game? Usually the argument means that people are just blowing this out of their ass. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Ratchet and Clank. That's rated T. That's not like a mature rated game, but it does have some sort of raunchy humor when you play like the original trilogy. I get that. I get that it's not meant for all types of audiences, or it's not meant for children. I understand how the ratings work and all that shit, but again, it's not M-rated. It doesn't have gore and all this shit. So I think this logic, this philosophy just equates to people being so uptight about the M rating on the box that they think that this devalues core gameplay experiences. You can play any types of games, whether, hell, it could be Mario, it could be Zelda, and they could be mechanically well-made experiences that still rival most walking sims that I see from some of the mature rated demographic. There can be also great mature rated games like fucking Resident Evil 2 Remake. Sometimes I want to just blow a zombie's head off, you know? Don't devalue other games because, like I said, they can be very well made. They can have rich storytelling. Uncharted 4 is a game that a lot of people liked, that was game of the year for some people. It was rated T, it had shooting and all that shit, a little blood, a little violence, but you know, nothing really like Last of Us where you're blowing motherfuckers' heads off and shit. It just has enough that seems violent, but it doesn't go over the edge into full-blown mature affairs. I think there is great storytelling avenues for all types of games, no matter the rating. You can get invested into a story that could be rated E for everyone. It's for everyone. It might not be the most mature experience. It might have some subtle mature themes and shit like that. You never know, because I remember some of my favorite Saturday morning cartoons snuck in things that were clearly meant for adults. They snuck in things where it made me think, Batman Beyond is meant for kids on, you know, WB and all that shit, but Batman is like bleeding like a fucking beaten up thumb. So I don't know where I got that one, a beaten up thumb. So it's blood in here, and it's like themes in here that might seem adult, and it's great. It's still a show that is meant for everyone. It's still a show that children, teens, and adults can watch, and it's still a show that you can readily enjoy no matter what age range you are in, and also relive again and again, because product placement, Batman Beyond is on Blu-ray right now. So go out and buy that thing now so we can get another season, because they will do another season if people buy it. I'm just saying in general. I think the people that do this, that say that these mature games are above everything, it's really not true. It's just like what I said when I made the rant about R-rated movies. The rating does not solidify true quality, because you can have shitty R-rated content like A Good Day to Die Hard, like Blade Trinity. You know what I mean? The R rating doesn't make those movies automatically good. You got to have a quality experience through and through, and maybe the rating would supplement some of these characters, but they don't make for good stories. Sometimes they don't make for good action scenes, and that can apply to gameplay mechanics. Sometimes an M-rated game, just because you have the blood, just because you have the sex, does not mean that it's automatically the best thing since sliced bread when you judge that gameplay and that story and those characters, fam. Like I said, let everyone play what they want to play. There are certain types of demographics for everyone. I would have more respect for people who did say that this is not for me. That's cool, but I'm not going to devalue the people who are into these experiences just because it's a lower age rating. They are still probably great games, but I just don't play those games. Perfectly reasonable logic that's being fucking thrown in the trash with everything else. I think even T-rated games or E-rated games, if they have great gameplay, I'm still going to play them regardless. Right now, I am 29 and I still will play those games. You know, it's okay to be a kid at heart. It's okay to enjoy what you prefer and open your mind to limitless possibilities, unless you're trying to shield away the criticism of that game and not realize that, of course, every game is not perfect, but that is a different argument entirely. Simply put, I think this whole situation just boils down to adults being ashamed of playing something that's meant for a younger audience and not realizing that it still can be a good game despite how you feel. If I'm playing something like Mega Man, if I'm playing something like Mario, if I'm playing something like Sly Cooper, if I'm playing something like the Jack series, for example, and I am acting like a perfectly sane, normal individual, then it's no problem. What is the problem? I don't give a crap if you find it kiddie or not. If I'm not having any baby rage akin to Chris Chan macing people in the face because Sonic's arms were fucking blue, then there shouldn't be any issues at all with me sitting there and playing that game that has that sort of cartoony-like aesthetic. I think we always are just so self-centered and judgmental as people, and we also get that same paranoia from other people as well, when you just should not give a shit. You're a gamer. You should have that sort of thought process to have an open mind to try varied and new experiences for better or for worse. That's how it works. If someone sees you playing Mega Man, who gives a fuck? If someone sees you playing Kirby, who gives a fuck? If someone sees you playing Zelda, who gives a fuck? If someone sees you playing Metroid or something and they say, oh, that looks like it's meant for kids, even though Metroid is super hardcore sometimes in some sections, and it has big ass aliens and shit, who gives a flying bird, dodo, pigeon, prehistoric dinosaur crap? Play what you want to play. Enjoy yourself when you do play what you want to play. Everyone will not think the same. Everyone will not like certain experiences in certain games. I get that, but make your criticisms more valid and sensible. There is a thing called bad opinions. Everyone is not free from making bad opinions just because they pass the buck and overgeneralize for the worst. Folks gotta stop being so judgmental, and maybe, just maybe, they will have fun playing those games and actually seeing the merits of games like that. However, that being said, like I said, there are games that do have criticisms to them. No game is perfect. It will never be perfect, but maybe just open your mind and try some E for Everyone games that might have some actual legitimacy going behind them, and maybe you won't be so judgmental. Also, I suppose I'll give even more of a clarification here. We're all nerds in nerd culture, right? We all consume comics, anime, video games, etc. So to hear people riff on other people for enjoying a certain amount of criteria that is also equivalent to video games, whether it is a lower rated video game like T or E, it's a bit weird if you consume video games but you have a problem with people liking other criterias in video games and also trying to act like you're this superior adult about it when video games were shunned for being mostly just irrelevant and kiddie and childish anyway for eons by old people that like to yell at clouds for some reason. So I guess you're becoming, part of a self-hate portion of video games if you feel like people cannot play rated E for Everyone games, which means you're kind of becoming the thing that you hate with the people that shunned video games for ages and they didn't know shit about them and they didn't care about them because they figured it was an irrelevant fad to them. Yeah, you're not really making such a grand impact, such a great message, such a statement that will go over in the realm of positivity or optimism or actually thinking clearly with common sense. Good job, people, good job. Like, this is mostly just Black Bond. Black Bond fucking sucks, okay? Black Bond is like one of the worst fucking people out there in terms of what he says, in terms of his opinions, in terms of what he thinks. Like, seriously, no one should really follow this guy. It was hilarious that he was name searching on Twitter and all this other stuff. Like, people have various hobbies. I am 99% positive if there was a person constantly saying that you couldn't do something with your own hobbies, then you would probably get a little bit tiffed as well. So yeah, if someone likes a rated E for Everyone game, then who the fuck are you to tell them that they cannot enjoy that experience regardless? I don't like Death Stranding, I know it's not a game for me, but if people like it, I wouldn't say you can't like it, more power to you. I just don't like the fact that people overlook the boring gameplay and they try to reinforce the idea and defend it having boring gameplay over everything else. I think that is just lacking in the criticism department and being realistic. But I wouldn't tell people, if you're interested in Death Stranding, if you're playing Death Stranding, if you like Death Stranding, you're entitled to feel that way about Death Stranding. You are not entitled to say someone cannot fucking do something without looking like a judgmental asshole. Anyway, I hope you people really enjoyed this video. What I think about people who think that the mature games are the best thing since sliced bread, and they choose to say that they will not play a game meant for children, and they don't understand why these games are good in the first place. They just devalue this and they turn it into, oh, I'm a big boy now, so I don't play those games, so that means that they automatically suck. No, it does not suck. Just because you grow the fuck out of something, and we all do, we all grow out of a certain mindset or or we basically go back to what made us enjoy nostalgia. We go back to what made our childhood. We are glad that these franchises are still continuing to this day. I mean, Mario has been like a lifelong franchise along with Sonic, and I just recently played Sonic Mania, and it's really a fantastic freaking made game, dude. And that game is meant for everyone as well. It's like one of the best things that could have happened to the Sonic series in recent memory. And guess what? I think it was just a fan project at best or whatever. I think the guys working on it wasn't Team Sonic. It happened to be some other studio that had a passion for making this project come out of the ground. And it really is a miracle story when these games get realized, when these old formulas still continue with updates that make them very fucking fantastic to experience. And just because there is a label on the box, it can be from E to adults only. I don't care where the fuck it is. I don't care how the fuck it is. I don't care who the fuck it's from. If it is a great game, you can guarantee that your boy, the one and only, the freaking best bout machine, Renegade Operative, is going to be there to play that experience, because nothing is stopping me from playing and consuming video games that are great. And regardless of the rating, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Give me a good game and I'll play it no matter what. This is Renegade Operative signing off. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. Like I said, the criteria of opinions and the criteria of desires and need, yes, that does factor into a purchase at the same time. To devalue something that you haven't played, or to devalue something because something is present that you might not enjoy initially at first, isn't really giving that title, that experience, a fair shake. And I wish people had more intelligence to understand that. Anyway, I'm signing off, people. Once again, share me out, like the video, all of that helps. Leave your comments. What do you think about people that say, oh, I'm too grown to play this fucking rated E for everyone game? It can have the best mechanics in the world, but I'm not playing it because, oh my god, you actually play with a blue robot. Oh my god, there's actually an ossel talking to you. How do you feel about those people? Aren't they just annoying? Aren't they the most annoying people in the world that always try to enforce their opinions on yours as if you give a shit? I mean, that's how I feel. But sound off in the comments below and tell me, what do you particularly think about this subject? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments below and we'll get something going. As always, see you guys next time. Later.